Okay, hi YouTube, May here. On my way to work, so this video is probably going to be a little choppy and not so professional, like all my other videos that are so professional. I'm going to be doing a rant video because I have something to rant about. The Master Cleanse. Okay. So, some people decided to do the Master Cleanse at my job. I've done the Master Cleanse probably about 6 times or more since I've been with this particular company. And everybody, you know, I don't tell people I'm on it, and eventually they notice at meetings and stuff. Especially now that they know what it is because I've been doing it for so long. And they, you know, they always have questions. It's just inevitable that they're, you know, people are very curious about it and they always have questions, and that's fine. I always, you know, give questions and refer them to the book by boroughs and, you know, try and give as much information, the correct information as possible. So, good and bad, you know, the saltwater flush, everything. So anyway, this lady at my job decided she was going to do the flush, and she is just driving me crazy. She is doing none of it right. She is completely it's unhealthy. She's just doing it. She's very overweight. She's doing it strictly to lose weight, I am sure. She has no intentions on cleansing her body or getting healthy afterwards. She eats terrible. She constantly eats out. She eats fried food. She eats the things that we would consider, you know, our cheat meal. That's what she eats for her entire dietary consumption every day. So, unless she's on some kind of crazy shake diet or something like that. So I find out the other day, she comes to me the other day, and I see that she's holding the juice. You know, I can recognize it from a mile away. But it looked a little bit of the wrong color, but I was like, I really don't care for this person anyway, so I was just like, whatever. But, she's telling me that she's doing it, and I'm explaining to her, you know, and then she's telling me she's just going to do it till she goes to this trip. They're going to Hawaii for a conference. And I was like, well, you know, it's a minimum of 10 days. You should really do it for 10 days to get the full effects of the cleanse. But again, she doesn't want the full effects of the cleanse. She just wants to drop some weight, and the weight she needs to drop is not going to take place in a week anyway. So, later on, that was on her first day. Then on day 2, I just happened to go over to her side of the building for work purposes, and I was talking to one of her employees, because she's a director level, and she yells out of her office, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm going through lemons so fast. So we started talking about the recipe and stuff, and I was like, you know, you probably just got the smaller lemons if you buy the big ones, you know, and I'm just explaining to her that the bigger ones juice better, and she's also was hand squeezing them, and I was like, well, you know, you either need a hand juicer or a juicer. One of the two, I said, but hand squeezing them, you're never going to get all your juice out of there. So she's like, okay, I'll go buy one. And then she's like, but I'm going through syrup really fast too. And she holds up this bottle of a regular grade, I don't even know if it was grade A, but not organic grade B maple syrup, just syrup that you can buy at Safeway. I was like, oh my lord, that is not the right kind of syrup. I was like, you need organic grade B maple syrup. And the day before, when she had told me she was on it, I had told her I had just come off after 13, 14 days, whatever it was. And I was explaining to her that I had planned to go a few more days, but that I had run out of syrup and it was really inconvenient to go buy it. So on this day, she's like, oh, I was totally wondering why you were making such a fuss about getting the syrup. I guess that's why. I was like, yeah, because you can't just go to Safeway and buy it. So she's been on the cleanse for 2 days with the total wrong syrup. You know, not uncorrectable, but, you know, I was like, yeah, I was like, have you been tired? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you know, this syrup just does not contain enough of the nutrients and minerals and stuff that you need. So she's like, oh, okay. So, hold on, I'm going to merge here into traffic. So then, So then we talk about it a little bit more, and then she starts telling me, I'm like, well, you know, how's the saltwater flush going? And she's like, oh, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, well, are you drinking your sienna tea at night? Because you need to be. And then she's like, oh, let me get a paper. So she gets a paper and pencil and starts writing this stuff down. She's not doing the tea. She's not doing the cleanse. She's not drinking the right juice. And she's not even planning on doing it for 10 days. So this was all last week. So I was just like, oh my gosh, this is infuriating me, right? So then she, the whole time we're having this discussion, she's got the Stanley Burroughs book hanging out of her, the little yellow book, she has it hanging out of her purse. I'm like, did you even read this book? You know, like, so anyway, she writes all this stuff down. I was like, ugh, whatever. So I go back to my desk, and later on that same day, who comes up swinging a pita pit sandwich around in a bag? Yeah, she does. And I was like, what are you doing? I said her name, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, well, I already messed up. I figured I'll just start back again tomorrow. I'm like, you know what? That's reasonable, but you can't start back. You can't just stop and eat pita pit and then start back up again. I said, because you made the mistake with the syrup or whatever, that's fine, but go to the store and get some fresh vegetables, or, you know, not a pita pit sandwich and a giant pop. Ugh. So I was just infuriated last week when I left work. And then my friend texted me yesterday when I wasn't in the office, and he's like, oh, so-and-so's over here talking about the cleanse, like she's an old pro. So so she started it back again, and she is running around giving people advice on how to do it and how to make the juice and all this stuff. And she's telling people, oh, I'm just doing it till such and such date, which is when she's planning on going to Hawaii, which is like a week from now. So she's not even going to be on it for the 10 days. Then she's planning to just stop right in the middle of it, not even ease off, go to Hawaii, probably drink like a fish, and then come back and possibly do it again. This is so unhealthy and completely against everything that the cleanse stands for. It just makes me so angry. And if you want to do the cleanse that way, fine, but keep it to yourself. Don't pass on your bad behaviors to other people who might actually want to do the cleanse the proper way, that don't know any better. Now, she's running around telling people how great it is, and, you know, yeah, when I tell people about the cleanse, I tell them everything. You know, I'm like, hey, in my opinion, the saltwater flush sucks, you know, just everything. And, you know, she's running around just, like, making it sound like a piece of cake, because she's not doing it right at all. She's not doing it healthily. Oh, it infuriates me when people give advice on something they know nothing about, and especially since she was already called out for doing it wrong. She knows she doesn't really know what she's doing, and she's still 2 days later trying to tell people all about it. I just come down to my inner zen here. I'm sorry, but it is just very frustrating for me to see people doing that. Like I said, if you want to cut corners and do a half-ass job at the cleanse, that is your prerogative, but please do not pass it on. If you're not doing it exactly how you're supposed to be doing it, don't pass it on to everybody. Or at least have disclaimers, say, oh, you know, like the day I couldn't keep the saltwater flush down, that's a disclaimer that you have to say, you know, wow, there's a saltwater flush you're supposed to take, I could not get it down, so this is what I did. You know, these are some options you can try just so you can complete the cleanse. But if you're just going to start from the beginning and not do any of this cleanse, any of the saltwater flushes, any of the tea, you're not even planning on going the full 10 days, then just don't even bother. Don't even bother. Or if you are doing it, just keep it to yourself and don't be passing along bad information to the unforeseen public. Anyway, that is my master cleanse rant. I have a couple other friends that tried it, and they just kept it very quiet. They came to me, asked me some questions, and then they were like, we're not telling anybody we're on it because we don't know if we're going to be able to complete it, which they couldn't, but that's fine. But, you know, they're not running around acting like they're experts on how to do it. And I'm not trying to be an expert on how to do it either. I'm just saying, if you're gonna give it a shot, give it, you know, what it's worth. it's not going to do what it needs to do for you if you don't follow it as close to the letter as you possibly can. So I really appreciate everybody listening to my rant. I know it's ridiculous, but I had to get off my chest because it's been bothering me for days. So that's what this video is about. I am starting my day off now with a clean slate. So thank you guys for letting me get that off my chest. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hi YouTube. So I just wanted to say good night and thank you for letting me rant earlier. My day went really well after I got all that off my chest. So I appreciate you letting me just go on and on about it like a maniac. But yeah, everything went really well. I went to the gym and got a great leg workout and felt better after I vented to you guys. So thanks for watching. Hope everybody had a great day. Bye.